Thanks for coming, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? I feel like I don't need this, but oh, you good? Okay, first of all, welcome to 999 Baker. I'm Tom Corey. I'm with Rubicon Point Partners. We're the landlord of this building. And just again, thanks for coming out. When George approached us, he leased one of our private offices in the ground floor. We have a shared co-working here. About having an event here, we thought it was a fantastic idea. We love to collaborate with our tenants in the building, and just getting more folks in here and showing them what we have to offer was pretty exciting. So we're glad that you came. This is a mixed use building. So we have both lab and office, and we have co-working where you can rent an individual desk, you can rent a private office, and then we have full like self-contained offices as well. If you or if your investors, any portfolio companies are interested, I'm happy to answer more questions afterward, but it's kind of the overview of the project. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know who I'm giving this to.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey everyone, thanks very much for coming. This is George, CEO of Events in Minutes, and thanks very much for coming, and thanks May for organizing this. We will have a great panel today. So Events in Minutes is happy to host you today in the building, and what we do is we help hosts organize their events very quickly with a few clicks. Basically, we connect them with the vendors they need, and it's an all-in-one platform. Basically, we bring the vendors from one side, they provide their service with the price and availability, and on the other side, the host can basically put them together and organize their events. So it would be much less hassle for the host. So if you have any event or so, we would love to talk with you or help you organize a successful event. Thank you very much.
Thanks, George.
Sure, of course.
Awesome. So great to be here. TGIF, right? It's the beautiful lighting, and it's such a great. Oh, I gotta put this. Yeah, it looks funny if I'm holding it, right? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, my name's Terry O'Connor. I'm a Google and Databricks alum, and I'm the founder of The Brass, which is a coaching and talent advisory firm. And really excited to be here today to have a conversation with Zoey Zheng. Zoey has had, such an incredible career so far, and has done great work at companies like ByteDance and her own coaching practice, and has worked with many entrepreneurs and founders on coaching. I think 300 plus entrepreneurs, and we're going to talk about consciousness in entrepreneurship in the age of AI. So that's, we're going to really get into that topic.
Yeah.
And before we start, but Zoey, thank you for coming. It's just really great to see you. I know we met online and saw each other last week, but welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Terry, for having me. And also I want to thank Tom, George, and May on KI for inviting me to this event. I feel so grateful for that. And also thank you so much for being able to attend this event today on this like casual Friday afternoon. I know it's not usual for people to attend at this time. And to introduce myself a little bit, maybe I can do a quick intro. My name is Zoey, and actually I'm originally from China. I'm right now been in the US for 2 years. What I'm doing is I'm a life coach and leadership coach, normally for founders, executives, and professionals. What I do was to help them find their mission and purpose in the chaotic life, no matter it's in entrepreneurial life or in the big corporations where you have to navigate the complexity. And before that, I was the B2B marketing and partnership lead at ByteDance. I was in 2 incubated startups inside ByteDance. One is the TikTok Shop, which is the e-commerce platform. The other one is the Pico VR, which is a competitor of Quest, if you know that. Yeah. So, but before ByteDance, I was also in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. I work in the top China's business school, which is called CKGSB. So supporting over 250 entrepreneurs from A series to IPO stage, and helping them, providing some knowledge to help them grow. So in summary, like, it seems that my whole journey is about helping entrepreneurs thrive and grow their business.
Yeah. I mean, and you've had such a wonderful story even before your professional journey, and I did see this beautiful post that you talked about when you were younger, and growing up in different places, actually, right? And doing your work, and really kind of igniting this passion for the English language and for music. And I would love to hear more about how you take your personal and professional life, and how that's influenced your entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah,
just your experiences.
That's a great question. Yeah, actually, to explain the background, yesterday I wrote a post about me as a Chinese kid, raised in China in a teacher family, how that influenced my own personality. I wrote that because my parents are teachers, and when I grew up, for example, they would ask me to do many big readings, which kind of make me lost my interest in reading. And also when I try to deliver a speech, my mother would say, "Oh, you need to watch some competition DVDs, and that's how you should speak, the standard Chinese tongue." So when I'm reflecting back, I realized that I have been immersed in many of these standard, but previously I wasn't aware of that. It was just recently that when I'm exposed to more American cultures, I gradually found that, that's where I was brought up. But luckily, I would say maybe that's also a good lesson for parents. I found that the areas where my parents had zero clue about, which is music or English, I thrive in that area. For example, I remember I can compose music and record some music tapes when I was at the 4th grade. And at that time, the internet was just booming, and I had the computer. I would even download some VOA and BBC videos, the podcast. I just have the talent of searching information. No one told me how to do that. So English and music, I just developed that. And later I said to my father, said, "Wow, I'm really grateful that you weren't experts in everything." So that gave me space to explore what I really want. So I think coming back to the AI age, I think that's the important thing. Right now in AI, we have all the kinds of information, but it is important to give the space and acceptance for anyone or your kids to explore what they love. This is what I think matches our topic today, consciousness.
The consciousness,
yes,
the conscious entrepreneurship. And
yes.
I was going to pause for a second and ask, we, as far as everybody here, would love to get a pulse on your entrepreneur journey, if you're founders, and kind of your sort of path to, maybe even being a solopreneurship. But I would love to see a show of hands of those people who are on their path to being a founder or entrepreneur. How many entrepreneurs do we have? Oh, quite a few. Awesome. Good. Yeah. Oh, great. So you can really relate to this topic of being right in the middle of building your business, but also wondering, how is AI impacting that and the consciousness of it? And let's talk more about that. Let's talk more about, get right into the topic of AI and consciousness, and then your 5 sort of pillars of, mind, body, spirit, and maybe how you think things through, your framework.
Maybe before we tap into that model, I will share something that triggers my my understanding about this field. Because I work very early in my early career, I worked immediately in the business school, and at that time I saw a lot of founders very successful. But every time they came into the classroom, I saw they're not really happy. They're always anxious and busy, and whenever there's a relaxation period, and they would just just sleep there. And I really didn't see a very relaxing face inside, relaxed face in them. But then I organized one entrepreneurship and family forum in which I asked 100 CEOs and their families. I invited them to this stage to talk about how they raise kids, not just as but as a parent, also as an entrepreneur, and also their kids are together with them doing some activities. So that time, this is my first time to realize that entrepreneurship is not just about skills or business tactics. It's about how to be in whole as a person. If you can really be like embrace the full aspects of you, you can also like embrace other people and provide a space for your employees or for your investors or your co-founders. So that's the original story. Then coming back to the theory, what I envision the conscious leadership in the age of AI, I think it has first it has 4 pillars. It has spirit, mind, body, and heart. And normally, I wonder what you think about, like, what do you think are the typical leadership style that you have seen? I wonder what you think. Maybe we can ask the audience.
Yeah, right. The leadership style.
Yeah. Any adjective like you would say?
Oh.
The first word that came to my mind is assertive.
Assertive. Great. Any other words? Any other adjectives that you would like to describe a leader?
Bringing clarity.
Clarity. Wow. Yeah. Any other? Just say it. You don't have to raise your hand.
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Yeah. Ooh.
Visionary.
Visionary.
Oh, visionary. Yeah.
What else?
Strategist.
Strategist.
Hardworking.
Hardworking. Oh, so I saw different energy from these words. One is kind of from the spirit. One is from the mind. If you can distinguish the difference. So I think for a very long time, for decades, our definition of leadership is mostly on the mind level, which means that we often think the leader should know everything. And the leader is someone who is very clear, have clarity, and can lead the team from here to there. So it's like a path defined. And that's the traditional leadership, because normally in the traditional industrialized age, we have a lot, for example, 5,000 people that the CEO have to manage them. So it needs to have this kind of assertive leadership, right? But I think in the future of AI, the organization would change. Why? Because we heard Jensen Huang who talk about, like, right, we will have a lot of agents, and then maybe the organization size would reduce, and then we may have very few creative people together with a lot of AI agents working for them. So the future of organization, when we talk about leadership, I think we should first go back to how the organization would look like. So I think the organization would look like, this is like a network. So a few creative people, a lot of agents, and then you would think about, like, what is the leadership needed in this kind of organization? Would we still need leaders who are really mindful, like using their mind? What's your answer?
Well, Zoe, I totally resonate with what you're saying, and I think we were talking about it a little bit, is there's going to be more and more this need for mindfulness, for, you can use the word consciousness, for human connection, right? Like just sitting together and talking about entrepreneurship or talking about leadership in an authentic, real way, and then not skipping over, hey, what are the challenges? Right. And I'm sure in your coaching practice and, even working at these large companies and running, big, operating big marketing teams, it's the human connection piece that the AI agents that doesn't help with that at all. Right. There's going to be,
I like that,
something missing. Right. And that's a lot what I think you've talked about.
Yeah. So that's resonating with me. So let's talk about, besides the mind element in the leadership, which is kind of, always about making clear decisions. But what Terry said is about the heart part. Do you feel the emotions inside your organization? Do you feel your own emotions? So that kind of emotional awareness also helped you build good relationship with people. And then that's the heart element. And there's also another 2 element, which is spirit. Why I mentioned spirit, I think spirit is related with your purpose, and also your connection with the real society. And in Chinese, we have this saying like, one should follow the trend, and then you will have the maximum success. 顺势而为. So I think that takes a lot of spirituality or with, spirit, so that you know what you do is in alignment with our society, our movement. So that's the spirit part, knowing your mission, knowing your purpose.
Well, the spirit part too. I think you've talked about this. How do you tap into that?
Yeah.
And I think you had a wonderful story about you going into meditation.
Yeah.
And then coming up with what it is.
Yeah, I will tell a story maybe.
I thought that was a really, really insightful thing.
So a story to share about how to use your intuition and like purpose to guide what you are doing. When I work at ByteDance, actually at that time, I worked as a founding member of TikTok Shop. At that time, TikTok Shop was a very new e-commerce platform. You may know Amazon, Alibaba, those existing e-commerce, but people don't know that they can buy goods on TikTok. So that's where we tap into. We want to educate consumers, brands that, okay, this is a place that you can not only view the content, but also shop. So, but what I did realize at that time, so that's about the spirit part, I realized seeing the whole system, and I realized that, wow, those previous marketing team, they didn't actually talk to the CEOs. They were creating content that talk to e-commerce manager who directly, do the things. But I think what matters at that time was that we need to make the decision maker, the CEOs, invest more money on this platform. So then I developed an initiative in partnership with Harvard Business Review and my previous company, CKGSB, to launch a documentary about interest-based e-commerce. So to educate more people about this. So I also invite 20 more CEOs to talk about the trends, and also some professors to talk about how they understand the new trend. So it's a kind of like a thought leadership programs to influence people's mindset. But how I came up with that idea was not through, just sitting here using my mind. Is through one afternoon, like in which I kind of did the meditation, and I can clearly see the picture of what I would be doing with this project. So it just happened first from my spirit, and that gave me some metaphors and pictures, and then I immediately know what I want to get. So then having this clear vision, I just brought that, and all the partnership, all the negotiations just went very well. So now what I always said to my client is that many people, when they search for the path, they will search how I should do that. But I will ask them 2 questions: why you want to do that, and what you want to achieve, and describe that picture more vividly, more concretely, and that will help you fulfill your goal, more directly. Sometimes universe will bring you different ways to achieve that. Sometimes just don't use your own, existing ways. So that is the story about how to use your, spirit.
It's interesting too. I think we're founders, entrepreneurs, and then we're connecting consciousness and meditation.
Yes.
And I think, this is just sometimes how we look at meditation. Oh, meditation is
concentration.
It's calming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great aspects to it, but we don't necessarily connect it to a business outcome, right? Because it doesn't necessarily go together, but it actually does, because it's you're creating something as an entrepreneur, that our idea comes to you through meditation.
Yes.
So I think that's just really powerful about doing and sharing, how meditation can actually influence a business decision, but it's holistic, our whole life, right? It's just one piece of who we are as a person.
Yes.
And then you take the AI element. Well, AI can't meditate, so
AI can.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, we're talking about conscious entrepreneurship and AI, and here you're coming right in the middle and saying meditation and connecting to the universe and connecting to our greater purpose. That's what AI really cannot do for us.
Yeah.
And that's what the coaching you do actually helps people like pull those things out of your heart.
Yeah, I have been thinking about this question a lot. Like, what can AI replace human beings and what cannot? And my answer is, I think the very first, utmost important ability for human beings in the AI age is the ability to concentrate and get back to the present. And this ability, so this comes to my fourth element, is about your body.
Because, I interrupted you on the fourth
one.
Sorry.
No, that's a good, moving, very
the
flowing.
body's really important, right? Because you get messages, right?
Yes, why I mentioned, sorry, body, because if you only focus on your mind is always like a monkey mind. Why we are saying monkey mind? It's always in the past or in the present. It's never stopping. It's never sitting in the present. But by focusing on your body, for example, your breath, your whole body sensation, you're actually getting your awareness back to the present moment. That is very important because you will know in the AI age, we have so much information flooding in ourselves, right? And people are overwhelmed, right? And I think why many people cannot get the real kind of wisdom or intuition is because they're so lost with so much information and they don't know what to choose. So I think the meditation power is in first to clear your mind and then purify your mind so that it is pure, and in that space something just emerges and then you just tangible. Catch that. Yes. So the body element is so important. I would say more about that, but I think it is also together with your heart, because in the body and heart, your emotion and your body go together. For example, when you're anxious, sometimes you will feel your head is very heavy and your back is very tense. And when you are like worried, your stomach is very tense. If you don't pay attention to your body, that's why many successful entrepreneurs, sometimes they were diagnosed with cancer, because they didn't realize the small minor body sensations happening all the time, giving them signal, but it's just ignore. So I would say body is also important. When you are a conscious leader, when you focus on your body, then you can clearly tell what is going on with you and also your teams. So the fourth element. And then the fifth element, I would say, it's like an eye on the sky. It's like a witnessing eye. The eye that can looks at all the system and all the relationship happening, not just
because they all work together.
About you, and also a whole system about you and the society. So I would say the fifth element is about awareness about the whole system. So recently, like yesterday, I had a talk with the Dean of Stanford Education.
Oh, great.
And he told me a very interesting story. He said, we have wonderful professors coming from different universities. But when they came in, they assumed they were the ones that were surrounded by people and receive a lot of recognition from people. They always thought they were still the best. And then, but here they didn't notice that everyone was also so good, so excellent. So they just don't have this awareness, and they kept talking about themselves. They try to stand out, but that doesn't work because you need to collaborate, right? Good professors, you need to build relationships. So I think what he said was that people with that kind of awareness about your environment, right?
Yeah, and then that's so important. Whatever our role is. And I think when we have very academic type roles or building companies, we forget we're in our minds. We forget about your whole system, right? That you're talking about.
Sometimes this, I think this attachment is in our ego. Like our ego told, oh, I want this to happen. I want this, and I don't want that. So that's the kind of resistance and craving that gave you, cause some of this suffering. But what I say about the awareness of the system is that if you don't have any resistance, you just follow the flow, and the system kind of will manifest opportunities for you, which you never imagined.
It's unbelievable, right? And I was wondering too, like you've had so many founders and entrepreneurs that you've worked with in your coaching practice. Have you noticed any themes in that group, like great themes, and then things that are challenges across the group that we're kind of all in?
Definitely.
And then would love to hear more about some of the those things, challenges, and also really positive things. And any stories that how you were inspired.
So that goes back to my theory. I think the whole entrepreneurship is not just about doing business, it's about your holistic personal growth. And first, I want to say positive things. I really love.
We can just say positive things. That's
first,
okay. We can stick with positive things.
Right. I really love.
We all know what the challenges are, right?
Yeah, probably. I think the good part about working with entrepreneurs is that they really have this innovative spirit, and you always feel the kind of resilience within them. For example, I coach an entrepreneur during COVID. Actually, during our coaching conversation, we helped him turn the whole business from a chain, offline restaurants, to a new kind of business in which he delivered, online delivered to people, and invented a kind of, because he owned many restaurants, but then he said, okay, I provide some, ready-made food to you through many, in connection with some e-commerce. So that's the shift. So that's one of the example. I like this resilient part when they met difficulties. I actually saw they always strive to find another answer. But another interesting part is about personal level. For example, I have a client who was a Chinese, actually I think Chinese girl born after 1990s, and what I noticed, the topic she actually reached me for was like, I just sometimes want to avoid some conflicts with my co-founders or some investors, and she often felt like she cannot be assertive and be confident when conflicts happen. But when we dive deeper, we noticed that it wasn't about business; it was about her upbringing. So it echoes back to my story in the very beginning. It's about how she was raised. She was raised in a family of very strict education, and her parents have the very strong expectation on her. And so as a kind of, the first child, also not, the first child in the family, she always have to be excellent, good girl, and to support also her elder brothers and sisters. So that kind of upbringing just shaped who she is.
Sure.
So also I noticed that many Asian founders or professionals, people are also less confident because we were raised in such a kind of like strict environment, professionalism environment. And so through coaching, actually we help her see the inner child in her, who is very vulnerable, who's very just ways to be seen, just lying there in a corner and just.
And you're seeing like the sort of you saw her transformation.
Actually, that's a very deep transformation part. I help her see and have the dialogue directly with her inner self, with her inner child. So then afterwards, we also have several sessions and talking about like her internal conflicts. One wants to always judges herself. One wants to kind of like protect the vulnerable part. So anyway, so those are different techniques we use. But eventually, this person, when she really got to see herself, she just, you can directly see she became more and more confident. So this confidence is not through, telling her, you need to be confident. It's not through like mind level. It's through really, it happens on a very deep, spirit
in your heart and
whole body level
in your body.
Yeah, so this is a very good example, I think, about conscious entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I think that's great, and I we maybe we ask some of the entrepreneurs here about their experiences and how they're growing and transforming as entrepreneurs, and we can talk about challenges. It's okay to do that too, but how do you feel about we open it up for some dialogue with
that's
the audience?
Great. I will always love to.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a question you might want to ask? I mean, based on you have all this really great, you're able to draw things out of your entrepreneur and founder
Yeah. Maybe one question. I don't know if you want to share. Have you had experiences you that have challenged you and you kind of made it through? Anyone wants to share, or some experiences where you felt that have shaped or changed who you are? I know this question may be too big.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, anybody
share?
or share anything,
Yeah.
like a snippet of, your journey, and what surprised you about being an entrepreneur or a founder.
I like that.
It could be anything. I can say for myself, I have so many surprises, right? Like
maybe you share it yourself.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Don't put me on the spot, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
No. I think for me, it really speaks to what we're doing today, and being in community and talking to all of us that are experiencing creating new things. I'm very surprised, because I didn't think of it, of the connections and the people I'm meeting that really want to support my journey and everybody's journey. And I think that those are the good things, because we know the challenges. And I'll kind of say this right now, like May, who is putting these programs together with Chris and Key. I think community is really, really key and important for all of us to connect to. So that's my surprise. Like I'm used to working in a corporate environment, and your community is in your company, and you don't think too far out of that. And then you meet all these wonderful people who are trying to make the world a better place. Yeah. So cool. that was a really nice surprise. So. And everybody here I've talked to are fabulous, and that's how we met, right? How about you? What surprised you?
What surprised me? You mean, I think I can share some stories in my solo entrepreneur journey.
Sure.
Actually, maybe some of you have also worked in big corporations. In big corporations, even if you're doing innovative projects, it is you still have someone on your back, and you are not really risking. But as a solo entrepreneur, what I realized is that sometimes it's a very risky journey, because you may not get paychecks every month. And how would you deal with that, especially living in Silicon Valley, such an expensive place? And what I realized is that, for example, I will share one story, is that, and you will have a lot of like mental blocks that kept you from doing something that you should do. For example, one story I would say, because right now I'm an influencer with 100,000 followers.
Wow.
But how I started back in 2004 in January. I remember at the first initial stage, I was very skeptical, because I thought this whole social media thing was too noisy. They're driven by fear, or they're too sensational. They have so many sensational content, and the algorithm is actually driven by those sensations. And I didn't want to be part of that. That's my starting point. But later I realized something. If we want to create positive impact, we need to step out there and either to fight or just show up ourselves to provide more positive content. And also, one important thing I realized is that it's never too late to plant the seeds, which means that later I didn't focus on the results, like how many followers I got, but on the process. Would I get energy from the whole creating journey? And so then I just posted every day in the first 4 months. In the very first beginning, I got no traction. People don't feel, don't feel connected, because you have 0 fans. But later, after I grew and grew, when I really showing the authenticity, I got followed by people who really mean, true in their searching journey. So, and then I have this right now, the kind of like base of really authentic people who are really doing the work. So I would say the whole process of trusting and doing the work actually is also like a conscious journey for me.
And you just said it, authenticity, right?
Authenticity,
and that goes right with the conscious
sometimes
entrepreneurship.
yeah.
being real, not worrying about the numbers, not worrying about doing the meditations.
That's very hard because sometimes when you do things, you expect some returns immediately.
Yeah, that's the world we live in, right?
Yeah. Our social media train us like you need to get some likes, and then you are not. But
maybe we ask if people have questions instead of us asking questions. It's easier to ask just any questions in general. I mean, it'd be great if anybody has questions for Zoey or just wants to bring up a topic
or any topic,
about how AI or is influencing us in different ways, and can we stay mindful and conscious and grounded as humans. But anyway, just throwing it out there. Any questions for Zoey?
I have a question. So do you think
Sean,
do you think, given the trend that AI or what's it, LLM is becoming more and more human-like, the response is yes, one day it will pass this Turing test, so that many people cannot distinguish LLM and human. So do you think one day will LLM itself, AI itself, become entrepreneur?
Become entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. So the question is, will one day AI will become entrepreneur? Can I just bring this top question back to the audience? What do you guys think? Or you can raise your hand.
Yeah, sure.
How many of you
it's
think...
a really interesting...
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean, for asking, because that's a meaty topic.
Yeah.
Really.
How many of you think that AI will replace entrepreneurs? And you can raise your hand. Oh, no one?
No one.
Someone.
Kevin does.
Eventually, everybody is going to be, everything is going to be replaced by some kind of an agent or like an AI. I don't know when, but that's where we're going towards.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah.
So I can chime in a little bit. So I recently attended the Gen AI Summit.
Yeah.
Which happened like a few days ago. And I got a chance to talk to lots of the C-level, company C-level people, and who are really implementing AI in their different industry, different company. And one of the VP had a good conversation with me, and they are public companies right here in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loud enough. It's okay. I'm loud enough. Yeah. For the recording. Oh, for the recording. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do I need to repeat or continue?
No.
Okay, continue. Okay.
Continue.
So, in my conversation with him, what really make me feel deeper regarding to the AI and what's going to happen. So he basically explained to me that, we understand the concept of each single AI, but he said something surprised me. He said, "Do you know actually AI is also have their society?" So AI are talking to AIs. So let's say you ask question for you train your own AI, and this AI continue learn. Sometimes AI couldn't answer your question because of lack of knowledge and lack of experience. This AI is going to reach out to the AI society, try to tap into the AI consultant, collect more information, and improve himself. So later, think about we are society, right? We exchange information, we try to learn from each other. AI is doing the similar thing. So later, they will have different level of AI. AI will have their like a top 1 tier manager or whatever organization. They are going to have their own relationship, like our a human being society. So going back to, is AI going to replace entrepreneurs? I don't think they're going to replace any entrepreneur. But what I'm thinking that they are going to have more creative way to do something different. So in the end, maybe we are going to learn something from them, how they organize by the structure, how they achieve the goal together, serving each other. So I think everything is open. It's a brand new society now.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. And I think it's very interesting to tap into the agent to agent like society. But you have any answers?
Just like comment, and thanks for sharing your learning from Gen AI. I couldn't attend, but that sounds very exciting. So just kind of brainstorming. I love how you break down the entrepreneurship and from body, mind, spirit, heart. And from your definition, Zoe, I do think this is at least the way I see it. I think clearly we're seeing AI is doing the mind part, is more knowledgeable than any single human person. And it can talk to all the AI to get all the knowledge to support them. And it has the body part, like humanoid like robot are coming up, and paired with AI, I think they can do a lot of body that, you know, we have to rest, but robots don't. On the spiritual part, that's the part I don't know. And also the heart part, because my understanding of, I think there are a lot of technical people here. Is this your husband? I don't know. Yeah. Someone mentioned about like the Turing model, because currently the AI is still based on Turing model, which is mathematical model. Math cannot solves a majority of the world issue, but I don't think it solves everything. My husband's PhD in math, so he keeps telling me, like, you know, there's still a lot of issues that are not solved by Turing. I think that's a limitation of AI. And I think what lies in those cases is where as humans, we are unique about, including the emotions, including a lot of unconscious things. So that's the part I'm not seeing AI can do that, even talking to having an AI society. But I really like how, because you are going deep inside of a human emotions and connect with oneself. So, and that's where we're getting our power and bringing out the consciousness of ourselves, which I don't think will be replaced by AI very easily. So that's my thinking.
Yeah, great themes. Like, we're going to have AI that's going to help us scale and be more productive, and teams of AI. But the human spirit, mind, body, and soul will keep growing and developing. Anybody else have a question for Zoe?
Can I have some ideas about your question about AI and entrepreneurship? I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
My view is that AI may replace. That depends on what type of entrepreneur you are. If you are a totally mind-centered entrepreneurs, I think AI will maybe replace you, because, like you said, agent to agent, right? They have these protocols and they can communicate with each other, and they definitely can create an enterprise that focus on, they have very clear logic, all the clear workflows. So they definitely create some venture, right? Buying the ticket or etc., selling them to other agents, definitely. But what about entrepreneurs who really create not from the existing knowledge and from unconsciousness? You don't know. And why I'm always emphasizing the body part is that the body evolves 100 million years ago, like in this history, and the knowledge we know about the body is still very limited. So you don't know what, also our mind is very limited, very people have the deep knowledge about that. So I think we might even have overemphasized the power of AI and less, have less confidence on human body. I think that's the part we can know more about. And I think that's why we need a new definition of entrepreneurship or leadership. So, yeah.
Yeah, a new definition. Like, what would a new definition be, I wonder? I mean, I think it's just an open-ended question, but feel free to.
I think a leadership, great question. Yeah. I would use a metaphor. New leadership is like an ocean that can nurture all kinds of fish. Yes. Oh. So it's like providing a space for all these creative beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they can grow and evolve and.
Yeah. And the leadership have all evolved these 4 layers and this 5th layer. Yeah. So it's like an ocean.
Yeah. I love that. And then in the ocean, we're connected. Yeah. Like everybody's sort of connected together. Yeah. But this is great. I mean, I want to be conscious of time. Yeah. Any other questions? I'll have one last question, but any other questions for Zoe? I mean, you've traveled so far and deep in your professional career and personally, right? And it's just it's remarkable that you've come up with these frameworks that I think are really helpful, and you've helped so many founders.
Thank you.
We have Zoey for a few more minutes, and we'll do mingling afterwards too. But any other questions about just the journey?
How about scaling business in a conscious way?
Yeah,
that's a good
scaling business in a conscious
question.
way. That's a good one. Yeah.
Can you share more background about it, or?
No, I mean, I just want to hear your experience.
What I see is that, it's very interesting. Usually, when you start a company, you usually have very good intentions. But what gets tricky in the middle way is that sometimes you are having a lot of obstacles. Like your investors say, I want to do this, right? And then you will be surrounded more and more by people who might not, they might have their own interests or intentions. So the question then comes is what would you choose? Would you have the power to go on a path that you really want? So I think another
and stay true to your values.
True to your values, because from my interaction with CEOs, if they do something that doesn't align with their values, they eventually their personal life, just sucks. And so what I usually ask the entrepreneur is that maybe stop thinking less about what your customer needs, but think more about what drives you and what energizes you, because that can keep you going from a long way. Many entrepreneurs just burn out in a midway.
Yeah, you talk a lot about burnout.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's a good topic.
In Silicon Valley, we all say customer focused, right? Customer oriented. But what about you? You are the biggest asset in the company. If you're having burnout, who takes care of you? So I would say take care of yourself, and then be mindful of your values.
Because nothing's going to scale, right? If you don't take care of yourself.
And then also find the right people. Like I always say for myself too, connect not through the things or interests, connect through values. And values are actually what, just surround yourself more with people who can nurture you and have the similar values than you. Then you can create big, beautiful things together.
Yeah, and then values relate to trust, right? So you have similar values, there's trust, and then more possibility to scale, right? So these are all like the human skills.
Many psychological tensions happen when you are surrounded by people who don't share the same values with you.
Yeah, I like that. That's like psychological tension.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So it's really about relationship too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, well,
I like your question.
Yeah, I love that question. Like, but Zoey, thank you so much.
Thank
you. You have. I mean, I'd like to talk for like another hour just to hear from you, like your experience and how you've been able to really support a lot of passionate people about making the world better and creating new businesses, or big and small. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I really appreciate this. Beautiful people, you're here, and let's talk more.
Yeah, because we're gonna hang out. Yeah. Great. Cool. Well, thank you, and I want to thank May. She's been putting these events together. This is just a beautiful venue, and I want to thank Kevin and George for Events in Minutes. May partners with them in Key, and we've had so many wonderful events, and that's the power of community. Of course, Chris Fong, who you may or may not know, I think some of you do. He's the co-founder of Key, and I feel like this is what it's about as far as entrepreneur journey, bringing founders together in all different ways. And this is a wonderful talk that we really need. We really need to hear from you, Zoey. So I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you so much for this wonderful hosting.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Great.
Great.
Let's mingle.
Let's mingle.